Hi, I'm Jim and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop, and I got another tool to unbox. This is from Hypotherm. Let me raise you up here a little bit. Maybe you can see a little better. This is a plasma cutter. I was looking at a PowerMax 30 XP, and I watched a lot of videos on YouTube comparing the two and what one does the other one doesn't, and so I just called them, got a hold of sales, and I said, I want to know from you guys the difference between the 30 and the 45. And I told them what I wanted to do. It's going to primarily be crafts with probably 12 gauge steel and down. And I said I want a small, thin kerf. I want something that's going to give me a very accurate and precise cut. And he says, well, the 45 will give you a cleaner, thinner cut than the 30 will. And I kind of talked to the guys at Lake Welding, and he said, well, with my experience, you can always turn a big machine down, but you can't turn a little machine up. So I went with the 45, and they had these in the store, and I said, you know, I'd rather have a new one in the box. So they ordered me one, and wouldn't you know it, the first one that come in was a 30. We had to send it back and get this one. Oh, they got all kinds of packing in here. Get it out, that would be great. Well, that's the gun, and this is the power cable. Goodness. They sure got this thing boxed up. Little heavy plastic, I guess, feet for them to set in. Here's a box of the extra consumables, they call them. This is the actual torch that's going to be cutting the steel. You get a couple of those. All kinds of good stuff. I don't even know what they're called yet. Never had one of these, never used one of these, but I think we're going to figure it out together. Get this on the floor. And that's the unit. Now this is a 220 machine, and I wish it would have had a standard 220 plug instead of this big monster thing. It does have a moisture and dirt collector on it. You don't want moisture or oil from your air compressor going into this unit. It will prematurely burn up your consumables on your machine. And this is the gun. This I can no way use inside the shop. It blows out a shower of sparks as bad or worse than a cutting torch does. This is going to have to be used outside or in the lean-to when I get it set up for doing my crafts. And let's see, we spin this thing around, see what the front looks like. You put in anywhere from 85 to 130 pounds of air. And as you set the amount of current that you want for the thickness of steel you're going to be cutting, it automatically sets the air pressure that you need to blow the steel out. Basically, it's like a cutting torch, but you don't need acetylene and oxygen. You use compressed air and electricity. That should be a whole lot more economical than a cutting torch. So, like I said, when I get this thing all figured out, I'll have to cut some steel. Now, what this is capable of, like I said, I'm going to be cutting probably 12 gauge and thinner, maybe 1/4 inch. There is a couple of benches I want to build that's cut out of 1/4 inch steel. But for what they tell me, the size that this thing really likes to cut is 3/8 of an inch. And at the right speed, you have to control the speed that you cut with. It will give you a cut as smooth as a bandsaw did it. They're really precise and they do a good job. But it will also cut all the way up to and including 1 inch thick steel. But it gives you a severed cut. It's going to look like a cutting torch. It's going to be very rough and jagged at that thickness, but it will cut it. What else? I guess we're just going to have to play with this for a while and see what it can do. The cord on it, or the whip, is I think like 20 feet long, so I can have the unit sitting inside the building and be cutting outside with it. That's nice. So if you got any questions on this, I'll try to answer them, but I don't know much about it yet. But come spring, we're going to have to do some cutting and practice with it. Luckily, I have a son-in-law with a sheet metal shop with a lot of scrap pieces. So I'll cut them up into pieces with this and weld them back together with the TIG and then give them back to him. So until next time, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the description box below or send me an email and I'll try to answer them. Don't forget to subscribe. It'll really help me. And until next time, work safe, have fun, and we'll talk to you soon. So long.